Hey, what's going on guys? So I hope you guys are having a Merry Christmas. But yeah, it's coming to the end of the year, and if you were to ask me, I had a pretty good year, you know. I graduated from film school and I got my degree in film. I managed to get into a new school where I'm currently doing my master's degree in directing. You can actually see my first short film as a writer and director on my channel. It should be the last video I did. This was also a good year for my channel as well. I mean, this time last year we reached 4,500 subscribers, and you know, we hoped that we would reach 5k this year, and we did, and we even surpassed that goal. As of right now, we currently have 6,200 subs.
Nice.
This is mostly due to the new series I brought to the channel, which are these reaction compilations that got hundreds of thousands of views, and I brought a lot of people to the channel, so if you're new, thanks for coming. So since it's the end of the year, you know what that means. It's time for me to talk about my top 5 best and worst films of 2021. Now last year I only did my top 3 because there weren't really that many movies that came out last year. I mean, cinemas were literally closed, so we couldn't even step foot outside because of COVID.
It's time to go outside. Come on!
Outside! Outside, everybody, outside!
But anyway, that's enough of the intro. Let's get on to this list.
Just see those sleigh bells jingling, ring, tingle-tingling.
Okay, so keeping in the Christmas spirit, we're going to start out with my number 5 worst of the year, and that is Home Sweet Home Alone. Yep, they did in fact make a remake of Home Alone.
What?
Ugh, this is garbage. I don't know why they're always trying to remake the classics. Never as good as the originals.
You're sick, you know that?
Yeah, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. First of all, I love the original 2 Home Alone films. Home Alone 1 is without a doubt my favorite Christmas movie. So when I found out that Disney was rebooting this, I got scared. So yeah, this new Home Alone film, it came out on Disney Plus, and it was not good like we all thought.
Did anyone order me
a Home Alone reboot?
Oh yeah, we did.
Thing is, yeah, this film could have been alright had it been executed better. I mean, what this film does differently is that it's more about the burglars than it is the kid, which is actually an interesting idea. It could have been this film with like a cool twist on the Home Alone formula where this kid is the psychopath villain and we actually root for the burglars. Had this not been like a Home Alone movie and more of like inspired by Home Alone, it could have been something interesting. But no, we got yet another very by the numbers Home Alone movie. Better than the last 2, I will do say that, but this isn't even as good as Home Alone 3.
Ouch.
This film is not only just a reboot, but it's also like a sequel reboot. So this film actually does take place in the same world as the first 2 films. You get cameos of Buzz, who's a police officer, and references Kevin, who works in like home security.
Guess what? The place had a McAllister home alarm system. Oh, gee, is that a coincidence? I don't think so.
Like, fam, I want to see that movie. Instead of retreading the first movie, how about we actually get a canonical 3rd movie to the original 2 films, where we see Kevin as an adult, maybe he has kids of his own, have them be the focus, bring back Harry and Marv, like, fam!
That's a good idea. Of course it's a good idea.
This film was essentially nostalgia baiting from the first movie. A lot of reusing lines and similar traps but in a subpar way. But that's not even the main thing that's wrong with this film. I expected all this. The main problem I had with the film is that you actually really sympathize with the supposed villains of the movie.
What?
They're a really nice couple who have kids of their own and are like struggling financially, so they gotta sell their house, but then they realize they have these vintage dolls that are worth a lot of money that would cover their financial problems, but they think that the kids stole it from them, hence why they want to break into the house. Why would you make the supposed threat of the movie nice, normal people?
I don't know.
Harry and Marv were bumbling robbers, but they were still bad people. That's why you root for Kevin and love to see it when they get their comeuppance. In Home Sweet Home Alone, you don't get any satisfaction when the traps come, Instead you're like, oh no, that sweet couple.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Home sweet home.
I mean, it's not the worst thing I've seen. Like, they did have some good ideas in here. Like, one of the issues with the first one was that the fact that Kevin knew how to set up these elaborate traps, and that just came out of nowhere. In this film, they actually set it up that Max is obsessed with like Roadrunner cartoons, so you kind of get how he has like a knowledge of like Scooby traps and stuff. But the humor, on the other hand, it just isn't funny. I mean, I did chuckle a few times here and there, but it's mostly a miss for me.
I'm gonna see y'all later, and I'm looking forward to that. But
whoa, wait a minute now, wait a minute.
Alright, so my number 5 best of the year is going to No Time to Die. This film, once again, just showed me why Daniel Craig is the best James Bond, fam. This is his final outing as the character, and he killed it in this, man. Remember when Daniel Craig was announced as the next Bond, and everyone was complaining like, oh, he can't be Bond, he has blonde hair, blue eyes. Like, really? Well, look at him now. He just went down as the best iteration of the character, fam. This film continues from the last James Bond film, Spectre, which, well, you know, wasn't that good. Basically, in this one, James Bond is retired and living in a relaxing life in Jamaica.
Yeah, boy.
But then his friend Felix comes to him for help on a mission that he can't do without Bond. So he comes out of retirement to do one last mission that leads him on the trail to a mysterious villain called Safin, played by Rami Malek, who's armed with a dangerous new technology. So yeah, I really like this movie. Better than Quantum of Solace, and it's better than Spectre. Though I would still say Skyfall and Casino Royale is better. I mean, Casino Royale is literally my favorite Bond movie. But this, yeah, it was a great end to the Craig era. Everyone brought their A game with the acting, the story was good, cinematography was a lot better here than it was in Spectre. The only really big negative I had with it was Rami Malek as the villain, who really didn't do anything in this movie, and he's supposed to be the main villain here. Like, he didn't stand out at all and was very forgettable to me, nowhere near as threatening as Le Sharif in Casino Royale or Silver in Skyfall. Now those were villains who had an impact. But anyway, besides that, had a great time with this. Now can we please get Idris Elba to play the next Bond? It's not too late. Alright, so we have my 4th worst of the year, and that's Clifford the Big Red Dog. Originally based on a book that got its own show, which I used to love watching as a kid, by the way. But now it has its own movie. So now Clifford is a giant CGI dog in the real world, which is basically kind of terrifying if you ask me. Okay, so this movie really bored me. I mean, I barely even remember half the things that happen in this movie. Basically, Emily, who gets bullied at school, gets this red dog from this magic old man, which again, when you think about it, is also kind of creepy. Like, why are you taking a suspicious red dog from a suspicious old man?
something is wrong here.
And yeah, the next morning, giant red dog in the apartment. Then you have Clifford just messing everything up and being a big problem for 15 minutes.
I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue sky.
We see Kenan Thompson as a vet, and bruh, Kenan, I love you, man, but what is going on here? You're showing up in 2 of my least favorite movies of the year. Anyway, you have this really cliche villain. I literally can't even remember his name. Oh, his name was Zach Tyran. Okay. Basically, he just wants to exploit Clifford. He just wants him for himself for like fame or whatever. He's very unfunny. Then you got Clifford just helping people in the town for another 15 minutes. Then the bad guys come, there's a fight, and the guy just soap bathes him. They hide at the rich Asian kid's house, and the kid is also very annoying. And then you have, you know, the obligatory I have to let you go to protect you. And no, Clifford!
Bye, Clifford! I love you with all my heart! Be good for me, okay?
But then, oh no, the bad guys got him. No! So they try and break him out. And then out of nowhere, this Russian grandmother, like, had like barely any screen time before, suddenly just goes front and center as a distraction. Like, where did this come from? So they save Clifford and they escape the science lab. Yes.
Come on, jump!
How are you coming fast? Why are you fucking coming fast?
Go, Clifford! Come on, boy!
Don't go anywhere.
So the bad guys, they chase him in the streets. And fam, again, just like, imagine if you're just there and you just suddenly see a giant red dog in the streets. Like, that's terrifying. So they run into the park and Clifford just randomly scores a basketball shot.
Sarge, big red dog, head north.
And you know, they reach the end of the park. Emily gives a speech about how nice Clifford is and how he should be able to stay with her. And everyone agrees and the bad guy loses. And then, yeah, that's basically the movie. So yeah, it wants to be a nice, kind-hearted kids movie, which it is, but it's just very run-of-the-mill and you're just better off seeing a better quality film like Paddington, which has way more charm than this. For my fourth best though, we have Spider-Man No Way Home. At the time of this recording, I'm not going to go into spoilers as it is still fairly new right now. I will only talk about what we've seen in the trailers. But basically, in this film, we follow the ending of Spider-Man Far From Home where Mysterio reveals Spider-Man's identity. So now everyone knows that Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker. What the language?
So now Peter has to deal with the issues of that, but then the issues become too much too quickly and it begins to affect his friends' lives. So he goes to Doctor Strange and asks him to do a spell so that everyone will forget, but then Peter tampers with the spell and that leads to it going wrong, and as a result, it leads to different Spider-Man villains from different universes to come in, so now Peter now has to deal with all of them. That's what I'm going to say on the plot. There is more to that, though like I said, I'm not going to go into spoilers here. Basically, the Spider-Man film was great, and I loved it. All the returning villains here were great. Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2 was just like he never left. Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2 brings a whole new take here on it, and he's a lot better here than what he was before. And fam, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, bruh, best out of all the returning villains. I actually think he was better here than he was in Spider-Man 1. Because you know, in that film, he still had that kind of corniness to him, you know, that stupid looking Power Rangers mask. But in here, they got rid of the mask so you can actually see his face, and he's way more menacing here. This film does have a lot of problems though, like, I will admit, there was a lot of fan service for Spider-Man fans in this movie, which was great, but if you're not a Spider-Man fan, then this film won't really do anything for you. Doctor Strange is just also very off in this movie, felt completely out of character a lot of the times, and also something happens with Ned that just comes out of nowhere and I did not like that. Like, a lot of this movie just doesn't make sense and you can nitpick a lot of this movie, but even with all the problems, the positives outweigh the negatives and there was still a lot of surprising moments that I didn't even know that I wanted, and it was very emotional as well. This is by far the best MCU Spider-Man film. If you haven't seen it yet, why not? Hurry up and just watch it already. And speaking of Spider-Man, my third worst of the year is going to Venom Let There Be Carnage. Fam, I was hoping that this would be better than the first. I mean, the first one was also in my worst of 2018 list, I think. With Andy Serkis directing this one, I was hoping for a better film, but no, it's just as bad. Maybe even worse, actually. It was just so boring, man. Nothing that was happening in the film I found interesting at all. You have a lot of Venom and Eddie bickering about Venom not eating people. You get the serial killer Cletus who bites him and then eats his blood, and then he gets Carnage. Carnage wants to kill Venom because he wants to, I guess.
You are real.
I am. And once I kill that thing that made me, we will be indestructible.
Okay.
Cletus has this unconvincing romance with this other girl who has like screaming powers who he wants to save. and then Venom and Carnage fight in a church. Honestly guys, I don't have much to say on this. The humor is bad. I don't care if it's self-aware. They did the same thing in the first movie and they just amplified it here. The banter I actually thought was kind of funny in the first one, but in here it's just annoying to me. It's not shot well, it looks ugly, the dialogue is bad. Just don't watch this movie guys. These Venom movies, they suck. Or better yet, just watch my third best of the year, which is Demon Slayer the movie Mugen Train. Yes, I know this film technically released in Japan in 2020, but for everyone else overseas it released in 2021, so I'm counting it as a 2021 film. This movie is a continuation of the first Demon Slayer anime arc, where our heroes Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Hashibira Inosuke are tasked with the mission to defeat this higher ranked demon who has control of the Mugen Train. So yeah, this is an anime movie. So if you're watching this movie, you watch the anime. My brother kept telling me to watch the anime, so I did, and I think it's great. Some of the best animation I've seen in an anime actually. So after seeing the show, I went and watched the movie and yeah, it was amazing. We got to see more of the higher ranked Demon Slayer Rengoku, who is an absolute G in this film by the way. The animation here, just like the show, is fantastic. The fights, the music, the humor, the emotion, all of it was great. The only thing about this film is that you're gonna get the most out of it if you've seen the anime. I mean, like, I wouldn't say it's absolutely necessary to watch the anime to watch the movie, but as it continues from the anime itself, it's most recommended if you've just seen the anime before, so you know where these characters come from. So guys, if you're not watching the anime Demon Slayer, I'd highly recommend it. And the movie is just as good. Alright, so now we come to the second worst of the year. My second worst of the year is He's All That. Now I've already done a full review of this film, so just go ahead and watch that if you want a more detailed review. But for now, yeah, this movie was bad. It's a remake of this teen rom-com, She's All That, which even the original I thought was mediocre. But this new one is just far worse. In He's All That, they flip it around so it's like, now it's like the popular girl trying to make the least popular boy look cool. But the film was just not executed well. I mean, I never got the sense that the unpopular kid Cameron was the big unpopular nerd that everyone was saying he was. Like, he honestly just felt like a normal guy. He just gets annoyed a lot and just takes a lot of pictures. I mean, all you had to do was just give this guy a trim and then boom.
Oh no, he's hot!
Addison Rae, yes, the TikToker, is essentially playing herself, but when it comes to scenes that require some acting, her lack of experience really shows.
I don't know. Maybe there's just a sense there was more to you than what you let everyone see.
And what if I like it that way?
Well then, that really breaks my heart.
What?
That, and you got the terrible cringe humor all throughout the film.
You show me yours and I'll show you mine.
Oh, everyone has seen yours.
I beg your pardon?
Fam, it's literally on par with those movies you get on Disney Channel. Maybe even worse, because at least Disney Channel can be funny. This film was just not funny. But yeah guys, like I said, go and watch my full review if you want more details. But yeah, this movie was just a waste of time. Alright, so my second best of the year is actually Judas and the Black Messiah. Based on real events, you have Lakeith Steinfeld as Bill O'Neill, who was asked by the FBI to go undercover in the Black Panther Party to get information on the organization, and their leader, Fred Hampton. Played of course by Daniel Kaluuya. Bruv, these performances are great. I'm so glad my boy Kaluuya won Best Supporting Actor for this.
Bro, we out here. Yo. Man.
But Lakeith, fam, he was good too. I mean, the complexity in his performance. It's just too good. It's too good. And the filmmaking here as well is just top notch. It was directed by Shakar King, who actually hasn't done that much before this. And I was impressed on how well he crafted this film. He's one director to look out for, I will do say. But yeah, acting was great, cinematography on point, good score. It's paced very well, I never got bored. It's just a very well made film. If you haven't seen this already, check this out. Okay, so now we make it to the worst film of the year, and if you watch my channel, you probably already know what it is. It's Cinderella.
Me did. It's what I done. What I hoped. Did it. I did it.
What?
Just like with He's All That, I have already done a full review on this film, so if you want to see the full details, just go watch that review. It's literally the last review I did 3 months ago. Anyway, this movie sucks.
What the fuck? Stop screaming! Stop!
Terrible dialogue, bad performances, awful humor, modern songs that just feel out of place. Just make original music, like seriously. And I don't care that it's like a jukebox musical and that's what it's supposed to be. But it just comes across as lazy. Just make original songs. Bro, this movie was torture. It took bad directions with the Cinderella characters. Like fam, I don't even want to talk about this movie. Just go watch my full review. I explain everything there. Don't watch this movie. It's a terrible interpretation of the Cinderella story. Just go watch the original or go watch Ever After, which I've heard is actually really good. Basically, the lesson for today is don't watch this movie. Alright, so enough about that. Let's talk about my favorite movie of the year. And you already know what that's gonna be. My number one is The Mitchells vs. the Machines. Bro, I love this movie, man. Seriously. I mean, fam, the main character, Katie, is a quirky teen. He loves to make videos at home and wants to go to film school. Like, fam, that is me. And the thing is, what she goes through in the movie, like, I relate to it 100%. It's actually mad. Like, when you relate to a film like that, it just hits differently, you know? You have Katie and her weird, dysfunctional family. They're trying to get her to film school, but then a robot apocalypse happens and they're like the only ones who have to save the day. This film was directed by Michael Rinder and produced by Lord & Miller, who also did Spider-Verse, which that film was also my number one of 2018, by the way. This movie is really funny, guys. It was also very emotional. I actually cried in this movie, fam. And I don't cry in movies. That's just something I rarely ever do. The ending, it just got me, man. And the animation, bro. The animation is clean. And I like how the movie was made as if it was like Katie like editing the movie herself and bringing her like personality with her little drawings popping in on the screen. And I will admit, sometimes that did get a little bit too over the top at times. And I'm sorry, Michael. Your voice as the younger brother, it did not feel natural to me. I'm sorry.
Hi, would you like to talk to me about dinosaurs? No. Okay, thank you.
What happened? Your balls drop off?
But overall, guys, this was such a heartfelt film. Great animation, great humor. I also did a full review of this. If you want to hear me to go more in depth, just watch that review. So yeah, that's basically my top 5 best and worst films of 2021. Make sure you guys check out my letterbox to see my thoughts on other movies that I see linked in the description. But yeah, just like every year, let's go ahead and take a look at what films we'll get in 2022. This is the 5th one. Dang, this got slapped straight to Prime Video. You know, after Venom 2, I can wait on this, to be honest. Of course, Disney has to keep milking this dead franchise. How are these guys still alive? How many times has this thing been delayed? This should have come out like 2 years ago. You guys already know how I feel about the cast, but I'll give it a chance. This looks bad, but this can't be as bad as the 2021 Cinderella, right? Another Disney remake. Oh yes, I've been waiting for this. Introducing Pixar's Hulk. This is a film for my mom, not me. A jungle adventure movie. I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock showed up in this. Let's go! This will definitely be better than the first one. Oh, no one cares. Introducing DreamWorks' Suicide Squad. I can tell this will be mad. Anyone else get underdog vibes from this? Yes, sir! This will be hype. Dang, I still haven't seen the first one yet. Again, I don't watch the show, so I don't know. After Fallen Kingdom, I don't have high hopes for this. Guys, look! It's the real Buzz Lightyear! Dang, they delayed this again? They are serious about making their money. If this will be anything like the last one, this will be jokes. No idea what this is about, but it's Jordan Peele's next film, so I'll definitely check it out. Give me a Black Adam versus Superman fight. Do it! They're doing a sequel to this now? Hey, make sure you wear your mask while watching this so you don't get Tom Cruise mad.
I don't ever want to see it again!
Yeah, I mean the first one was okay, I guess. This is my most anticipated movie of next year, and it's a part 1 out of 2? I've lost interest. The second one sucked. Tom Hanks as Geppetto, perfect casting once again. Okay DC, don't mess this up. It's not gonna be the same about Chadwick, I'm sorry. Do we need this? I thought the second one ended nicely. See, I liked the first one, but because of Amber Heard, I wonder if people will actually turn up to this. It's been a long time coming, but do people actually care about this? And Chris Pratt as Mario? What?